No, it's just my son. It got quiet. Okay, we are good. Thank you, everyone. Call the meeting to order. If you could, please rise and join me in the pledge to the flag. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Welcome, everybody. First full week of school. We'll hear some updates shortly. What I'd like to do, if it's okay, move a couple things around. We have a lot going on tonight. So, could I get a motion, move item number 6 up to 2B, along with number 9 to 5B?
I'll make a motion for what you just said.
Okay. And
You
a
think I'm going to
second.
try to get that order correct? You're crazy.
Got that? All right. Discussion, comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. So we get to do some fun stuff first. We're going to move some recognitions right on up to right now. So I'm going to turn it over.
So board members, you remember on August 27th, we had our annual convocation. I know Joanne was there and Chris was there. It is certainly a great opportunity for us to bring all of our staff together in the high school auditorium. It's actually the only time of the year that every employee of the schools gets together. We try to kick off the year and welcome everybody back. To me, the highlight is recognizing our rookie teacher of the year, our para-educator of the year, and our teacher of the year. And we'd like you to meet them again tonight. So we're going to start with our rookie teacher of the year, Miss Catherine, or Kat Robinson. If you would come right up.
Yay.
And Mr. Sullivan, principal of Center School, is going to introduce Catherine.
Catherine Robinson, 2019 Rookie Teacher of the Year. Catherine Robinson, better known as Kat, certainly hit the ground running in her first year as Center School PE teacher. According to one nominee, Kat went above and beyond in creating and implementing an innovative and engaging curriculum solidified by exemplary classroom management strategies. She volunteered for countless activities throughout the school and always had a smile on her face, spreading joy throughout the school. One teacher wrote that the kids in her classroom absolutely, positively love going to PE class. When the teacher asked students for help writing the nomination, they wrote, "Miss Robinson has a lot of empathy. She takes her time when we are talking to her, and she doesn't rush us. She is understanding, organized, not too strict, but has firm expectations. Makes sure everyone plays fairly, always has something new for us, and she makes everything fun." That teacher summed up her nomination by making sure the selection committee truly understood Kat's positive energy and willingness to do anything. Another teacher asked for quotes from her students. These students mentioned how Miss Robinson is kind and joyful every day. Whenever you are down, she puts a smile on your face. She always encourages you to push yourself to a further level so that you can go above and beyond. And she never gives up on anything. She has a positive mindset, which are great comments from a class of students in grade 4. Kat is a bell ringer herself, and in her interview for the position, said that teaching at the Center School was her dream job and how she always thought of it as a special place since attending herself. Now she makes it a special place for a whole new generation of students. Congratulations, Kat.
Catherine, we're going to do a group picture of the three of you. Since it seems like we have plenty of pictures. But don't go too far, because we have some flowers.
Should I
We're going
stand
to do a
here?
group picture.
Sure.
Yeah, perfect, thank you.
Kat, can I get a picture for Jason?
Oh, yeah. Send it. We'll do a selfie.
And Rod Mosier, our Director of Spiritual Ed, who is the head of the committee that selects the Para-Educator of the Year, will introduce our Para-Educator of the Year for 2019-20, Melissa Carrillo. Melissa.
2019-2020 Paraeducator of the Year. One of Melissa's nominators wrote, "Melissa Carrillo has a tremendous impact in the schools in which she has served effortlessly, adapting to new expectations, standards, and practices. Melissa has the insight and reflection of a seasoned teacher and effectively implements behavioral and academic instruction with dedication and care. This nominee has made a difference in the lives of everyone with whom she works. Her kind nature rubs off on even the most challenging students and with teachers. She is an excellent collaborator." Another nominator wrote, "Melissa's wholeheartedness cannot be understated. She helps us all grow with her fierce advocacy of what's best for students, program communication, professional learning, and support of each other in our varying roles. We are grateful for her honesty, dedication, grit, and passion. Melissa's deep belief that all students, even our most at risk, can learn to thrive in school is realized through her above and beyond daily efforts. She is an unsung hero, a champion of children, and truly exemplary paraeducator, richly deserving of representing East Hampton as the 2019 Paraeducator of the Year. The administration of the schools in which she has served describe Melissa as conscientious and passionate. They view her as the expert contact of the children who are placed with her. Melissa treats every child as her own, and there is no better example of a paraeducator who deserves this recognition. Congratulations, Melissa."
And Mary Clark, who chairs the committee that selects the Teacher of the Year, will introduce Mr. Aaron Brown and his son, if you want to bring him down.
Aaron Brown, I'm pleased to introduce our 2019-2020 Teacher of the Year. Students enthusiastically nominated Aaron Brown, choral teacher at the high school and center school, for the Teacher of the Year recognition, writing, "Mr. Brown inspires students by being his wacky self, to get them excited to make music. And excited they are." Adjectives used by students to describe Mr. Brown included nicest, kindest, most intelligent, compassionate, and amazing. One student wrote, "I feel compelled to nominate Mr. Brown for Teacher of the Year because he has been a big impact on my love of music in the last 4 years, so much so that my college essay was about his impact on me." Another student wrote, "He never judges a student based on their vocal abilities, but rather how much work they are willing to put in to succeed." Aaron is inspirational to watch in rehearsal. Aaron is a superb musician and conductor, and father, but much more is required when working with high school students and elementary students. He is passionate and energetic every day, every rehearsal. Calling on an endless supply of enthusiasm, he brings out the best in his students. One of his nominators credited Aaron with creating a grit-developing environment in the classroom. A master of growth mindset, Aaron willingly works with all vocal abilities and welcomes students into his classroom and into his heart. In the nomination letter, it was mentioned that Aaron's effervescent personality makes him equally effective at inspiring and coaching high schoolers and center schoolers. He is magnetic. Even reluctant students can't help but engage when Mr. Brown is leading the class. It is clear that as an educator, Aaron Brown brings to his classroom and rehearsals the perfect blend of instructional prowess, a drive to excel, and musical skill. He combines all of these elements daily, exposing students to higher and higher levels of musical performance, along with an understanding of how they grow as people who are committed to a cause when they work hard and commit to improvement. Aaron models that commitment because he has created an environment that is not founded on competition to be the best performers, but founded on teamwork and mutual support to excel together as a team. He is much more interested in the personal growth of every student than promoting the talent of a few. He uses music as his tool to inspire, but at the end of the day, it is the students that he loves more than the performances we as his audience cherish. Congratulations to Aaron for his superb work with our choral students and for his recognition as the 2019-2020 East Hampton Teacher of the Year.
You gotta remind her of that.
Just be careful because there's water.
I know.
Should be happy. Well, nice to meet you.
And we have everybody squeezed together.
You guys
Get on the other side, Joe.
If we can have everybody take half a step over that
Big
direction.
smiles.
Thank you.
Oh, you can smile bigger.
All right, good looking group. All right. All right, we'll take one more. Take a couple. We'll take one with flag. All right, 1, 2, 3, smile. Thank you.
Congratulations. Just so you know, the state of Connecticut does a wonderful job recognizing all of the teachers of the year around Connecticut. So Erin and all his family will be invited to the Bushnell Theater on Wednesday night, December 4th, and each teacher of the year from the various towns in Connecticut will be honored on that evening. Before we take a break, this is the official welcome to our new principal, Mr. Eric Vernon. Eric, if you would come down for just a minute.
Put him in the hot seat.
Never felt so welcome in my
That's great.
I know, we're gonna keep going with this.
So,
I'm fine with that.
okay. So Eric has come in at one of the most creative searches that we've done for principal. Typically, if there's an opening for principal, especially at the high school level, you have an interim, you go through a 6 or 7 month process, you do a lot of advertising, you bring in candidates, and as you may be aware, our principal from last year, Mr. Frank Rizzuto, was skimmed off very quickly by the town of South Windsor. We felt it was important to open this building with a principal in place. So we probably did one of the fastest searches in Connecticut. We left it open for 2 weeks, and in that time we had 28 candidates apply, which I think tells you something about the desire to come and be principal of East Hampton High School. We were very fortunate that Eric was in that pool, and to show you how seriously people on the high school staff took it, we did the interviews the week after July 4th. So, you know, now it's the heart of the summer for teachers, and we had about 35 to 40 teachers show up and participate in our interviews. We are thrilled that Eric was available to us. Eric began his teaching career in Massachusetts. He was not only a teacher, he was a football coach. So coming from Massachusetts, he is still celebrating last night's big victory.
They go to bed at halftime.
Then he became a social studies teacher and department head of humanities at Bolton High School, where he served as interim principal when that principal became ill for a while. And then he has spent the last 6 years as assistant principal in Canton, Connecticut, at Canton High School. We are thrilled. In a very non-traditional, come in August 12th, 2 weeks before school starts, and open up the school and get things ready, that Mr. Werner is at the helm, and we know he's going to be here a long time, molding our high school into just a model high school, especially as year 2030 comes. Eric has a strong background with the New England Association of Schools and Colleges, our accreditation bureau. He has served as assistant chair. He's served on many committees. He's written several reports for the schools he's been. All the timing has worked out that he has done the reporting for the school district as they go through their accreditation process. So we really feel like our school is in excellent hands. We traditionally invite family members. His son both had scrimmages tonight, and his wife, being involved in the insurance company, will not surface until everything is taken care of in...
Don't say the word Dorian.
Dorian, yes. Yes, she's going to be busy for a while. So this is our official meet and greet and welcome Eric after the fact, but we wish you the best and we congratulate you on the work that you've done so far. Eric, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I get to bring my wife flowers.
Yeah,
Yes.
yes.
Bring your flowers. Tell her you know she had a very long day. Just be careful because there's water.
Yeah, it's water in them, so be careful.
And while we're, I don't know if Irene, if you want to take a picture, but I just want to thank Matt and Caitlin for helping them out. I'm sure there was a lot of adjustment
How
and
did you both come?
update for them. Yes, come on down.
Yes. We do have a picture of the three of them standing next to each other at convocation.
By height now?
Yeah.
It's kind of funny, like paperwork.
Yes. We were able to supply Mr. Werner with his bell ringer tie, so he and Mr. Warner are sporting the official East Hampton bell ringer ties.
So again, thank you to you too.
I mean, if you would just take a quick picture, then thank you.
Don't smile, man.
Okay, just going every single camera. Right. One more. Deep breath. One more. Thank you.
Okay, with all that being said, now's a good time. We'll take a little 10-minute recess, celebrate. There's cake and juice right out in the hall, and then we'll come back and continue.
also enjoying yourselves?
She is. She's getting acclimated. It's been an adjustment.
Yep.
But it's funny because the freshman that she had, you know, so almost gets.
So we're gonna do
other kids.
now.
She convinced herself she didn't know how to teach older kids. Just every summer. And now she's gotten over that. Acclimated to this. The idea of not having all the bits that high school were in high school.
Sure.
You know, have to deal with the
Sorry to interrupt. I'm gonna do Yes. Okay. Are we good? No. Yeah. All right, we will rejoin, regain, restart, continue. Before we get into the liaison report, a couple quick introductions. We have new people in the room this evening. So we're going to start with Robert and Emma at the table here. If you want to tell us about yourselves, what you're doing, how things are, first week of school, it's all yours.
Okay. Hi, my name is Robert Balda. Everybody calls me Bobby. I'm on the soccer team, and the first week of school is going pretty well, especially for fall athletics. It's off to a very successful start. The boys soccer team just played in a scrimmage today, actually, which they won 3-0. The girls volleyball team also played in a scrimmage, which they won. As far as girls soccer team, they've been playing a number of scrimmages for the past week, which has also been very successful. And the cross country team had a meet on Friday, which they won.
Good start.
Hi, I'm Emma Devrin. I'm also the student representative here. So we had the freshman orientation in August, which was really successful. I was an ambassador at that. And we had a lot of ambassadors from the junior and senior classes come to that. And the first week of school has been off to a really good start, and everyone's just looking forward to a successful and fun year.
Good. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah. And usually we do updates from you guys further down on the agenda. But if there's something going on and you need to run out, you're free. So don't feel like you're trapped here. Yeah. Okay. Interboard, we have member of Board of Finance here, Bridget.
Just one more introduction.
Oh,
but
hold that
introduce
thought, Bridget.
first. No, you can introduce Bridget first, and then we'll go back to the introduction.
Okay. Okay, Bridget, anything from Board of Finance you want to comment?
Nothing major, probably everybody knows this. The good thing for the town is we have a AAA bond rating that just came out, which is really good news.
Yes.
Jeff's done a great job.
Yes, good. Thank you. Okay, now I'll stop.
I'm sorry. And the other introduction is Ms. Sarah Carey is here. Sarah is principal of Canterbury Elementary School. She's in a program through Sacred Heart University where she's doing coursework that leads to the superintendent certificate. As part of that coursework, you've got to shadow a superintendent for 120 hours during the course of 2 semesters. So she's squeezing it whenever she can, just following me around. We can get it done in 3 days, but she can't commit quite that much time straight.
No.
So she's coming to board. You'll see her at board meetings and other events that we have.
Good, welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, labor union rep, anything? No, none. So we'll do updates from principals and from director of curriculum.
And the last week has just been about opening the schools, so I'll let the principals talk about that, but also making sure that all of our new courses that we're offering are rolling out successfully. Teachers are focused on foundations of strong relationships in their classrooms, as well as the routines, pre-teaching expectations to support the best for each learner this year. We've been doing a lot to support staff members in new positions. I mentioned at our last meeting our new K-5 math science coordinator, so working closely with her as we look at what systems can best support math and science instruction as well as communication to teachers. We have a new literacy specialist at the middle school, not new to the district, but new to that role, so kind of looking at how we're supporting literacy there and our Readers and Writers Workshop rollout. So that's been going well. Looking at implementation of technology, as you know, we do not have Chromebooks for our 6th graders this year for the one-to-one program, so really still trying to look at how to best support teaching and learning without those resources. And then working to begin our fall assessment schedule where we collect baseline data on student performance and look at how that compares to their performance at the end of last year and then make specific instructional decisions and groupings from there. And the state has just released Smarter Balanced performance data for the 18-19 school year, so starting to analyze that so we can celebrate our successes. And eagerly awaiting the results of the first next generation science assessment.
It was great to welcome the learners back to Memorial. I'd like to first thank the PTO for their red carpet welcome. If you ever get a chance to be at Memorial on the first day of school, it's really something special. All the families come to welcome the kids, to see them get off the bus, and we had the entryway lined with like pinwheels and balloons and other signs, so it was very exciting. Then our teachers followed that up with positive greetings at the door. Spent a lot of time the first few days just building community, teaching expected behaviors, and going over routines. Tomorrow we have our first staff meeting. We'll be furthering the work from some of our PE on trauma-sensitive classrooms. I want to take a minute to appreciate the efforts of Karen Seta, Randy Dory, Stacey Parla, Kelly Crusoe, and Nancy Flannery, and all of Team Memorial for efficiently and safely getting the kids to their dismissal locations. First time in 9 years as a building principal that not one student missed a bus or went on the wrong bus. And to further that accomplishment, Nancy Flannery said in her 20 plus years, that's the first time it's ever happened for her.
Yeah. Congrats. That's good to hear.
So luckily, the same happened at center school, but they're 4th and 5th graders.
That's good.
Yeah, but also an excellent start. Again, to echo East Hampton Elementary PTO is some of the best in business. The support that they give us is just unbelievable. Helped with an amazing open, and we had our first day tradition. All the students meet on the blacktop, meet their homely teachers, and the entire building walks into center school together. So luckily, it was a beautiful day. Just building culture, had our first assembly, our first fire drill, a lot of those firsts for the year. So very successful.
Good.
And we didn't lose anybody on our.
I was going to ask. Yeah.
We had what I would say is a very smooth opening at the high school, and I will not take any credit for that. I will give all that credit to both Matt Warner and Caitlin Sullivan. They worked really hard over the summer to make sure that everything was ready, and I was able to ease into a great school year. I was out the front. I've been out the front of the door every morning greeting students as they're coming in. Every student knows my name. I know about 7 kids, but I'm working on it. We're opening the school year. Both Matt, Caitlin, and myself have met with the senior, junior, and sophomore classes to talk about our expectations for the school year, welcome them to East Hampton High School, and we're meeting with the 9th graders tomorrow morning to check in and see how their first week has gone. And hopefully it's gone as well as ours has.
See, the common theme is smooth. I think everybody had a really smooth start to the year.
Yeah.
So far, we Chromebooks are rolling out to 7th and 8th graders tomorrow. We celebrated International Literacy Day on Friday. The library is just vibrant and booming. There's kids everywhere. It's buzzing. Creating bookmarks in recognition of International Literacy Day. Eric and I did spend quite a bit of time Wednesday, Thursday, Friday doing grade level meetings, again, reviewing expectations, and also shared our building goals with the kids so they kind of know why teachers are doing different things, such as learning targets and do nows in the beginning of their classes. Athletics is up and running, and chorus started today, and they'll be getting it embedded in their schedule for the upcoming week. We did not have any 6th graders miss their bus on the first day. 7th and 8th graders should know better, but let's not be paying attention. Other than that, we're having a really great start.
No, I think we have 160 athletes participating out of our 460 some odd students, so it's,
That's good.
after school is busy right now. It's great.
Nice. Any questions for any of the schools? Okay, thank you. Good job. Now we'll turn it over, audience of citizens, open up, any comments, questions, great ideas? Okay, hearing none. Motion to approve the consent agenda. Was that Amanda? Yes, second. Mark, discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so now we move things around. We are now at 5B, which is our presentation of the Solar Virtual Net program. So I'm going to turn that over, I think, to Karen and Paul. And
We also have some members in the audience tonight from the Clean Energy Task Force that have been involved in this. I don't know if you'd like to introduce anything
Please.
or
Yes,
comment
please do.
at the end.
I'm Marty Klotzkach, and we are looking for some more members. We just lost our chairperson. And when I came to the school here, I tried to see if we could get, and that's the purpose of our Clean Energy Task Force, is to try to get some green energy into this town. And I have failed. The high school, no solar, no geothermal, the new town building, they may get some solar panels for the police garage. So we are still relying on fossil fuels in this town, and it's a disgrace. And I just hope that somebody will be able to, other school systems, other towns, they have solar panels, you go past. There became a choice of, should we get new furniture or should we get some solar panels? And they said, no, we gotta have brand new furniture for the school. Okay? So I guess I was too late, and people are just still relying on fossil fuels. We've got to start thinking, look at our Earth. Just look at our weather conditions, trying to get them. So I hopefully, and I also tried to get something done in our school system, because the electric company has programs and has people to come out to be able to talk about the use of non-fossil energy. But I don't know what ever happened. So I hope maybe in our school system, I'm a retired teacher, and the importance of teaching these kids about the ways to be able to do things without having oil, and the fracking that this system is using, or natural gas, which is from fracking, which is poisoning the earth. So hopefully we can get things done. I'm also on the group with the Friends of the Lake and Conservation Lake Commission. So I hope maybe you people in your schools could invite me and get some other people to be able to start talking to our students. Because if we get our students coming home and telling their parents, hey, we have to try to stop using the fertilizers for our grass. We want to have green grass and green lake, okay? So think about that, because I'm willing to go and give talks about how to be able to make our lake better. And Brian is going to be our new chairman. Brian?
Hi everyone, my name is Brian Gay, and I'm, as Marty said, possibly the interim chair. We just had a change in leadership at the Clean Energy Task Force. So our chair, Pat Patrone, who's been leading us for the past 3 years, had to step down. So for the next few months, we're going to be working together to try and just finish out this year. And as Marty also said, we're really in need of people to step up and help be a part of the task force. I think we have 7 seats, and we currently have 4 filled. So we have room for 3, and that doesn't include alternates. So please, if you know anyone who's interested in renewable energy, interested in, like Marty said, trying to get clean energy into town, switching off of natural gas, the Green New Deal that everyone's talking about. If you know people who are interested in that, send them our way, because we need hands to help get the work done. And for students as well, because we would love to have student liaisons. So if you guys know anyone in the school who's really interested, I just saw you guys have an environmental club. I'm going to try and get to the cleanup in a few weeks of Oak Creek. But yeah, so that being said, we're looking for ways to collaborate with other committees in town, looking for ways to get more involved. And tonight, Celia's here from Citrine. This is an opportunity that came before our task force about land use in town, and an opportunity to use land to start a solar field. And Celia will give you more of the details she's better versed in than I am. But it seemed like a great opportunity to us, so we did recommend that she go before the town council to let them know, to see if that's something they would be interested in. And so that's how then I believe she came here tonight. So with that, I'll just pass it on to her.
Thank you.
I have a question. When are your meetings? When the
We have
task force for clean energy?
It's the first Tuesday of every month.
At what time?
It's at 6:30.
First
6 o'clock. 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock on the first Tuesday of every month?
First Tuesday, and it depends on when town council is. Sometimes we're in the town council room in town hall. Other times we're in the history room in the library.
So always at the town hall?
No, it's
Or the
at the
library.
town hall sometimes.
Oh.
Town hall is meeting, then we're
Most of the time it's at the town hall, but sometimes it's at the library.
correct. So, and you can reach out to either myself or Marty or Kathy Sirwois at the town hall, and she can put you in touch with us.
Thank you.
Okay, now we'll turn it over. Sorry.
Great. Thank you very much for that introduction. And thank you for making the time to listen to me. Is this good?
Wherever you're comfortable.
I attend a lot of Board of Education in town meetings. This is by far the best and the most energetic one, so congratulations.
Oh, good.
This is like so positive and awesome.
We try and have fun.
Yes. So my company, Citrine Power, is a developer and investor of commercial scale and small scale utility renewable energy power plants. We develop them from scratch, and we own them, we operate them, we finance them. We're based out of Connecticut, Citrine Power itself. I'm the principal of Citrine Power, and I've been investing in renewable energy for about 15 years now. We are here today to talk a little bit about the proposition of a virtual net metering and how it works in Connecticut. We came across, I'll tell you a little bit about our company too, but I just don't want to prolong the whole process. I'll just start by talking about the project itself. There is a program called virtual net metering across the U.S. in every more or less solar-friendly or renewable energy-friendly states. Connecticut has a virtual net metering program too, and what that means is we can actually get a piece of property, a vacant piece of property, a municipal landfill, anything that's not used, or an industrial piece of property that the landlord is willing to sell it to us or lease it to us. We can build a larger scale, not too big. My company typically plays in the 1 to 5 megawatt range, which is about 4 to 20 acres of property. And we put a large solar system there, call it medium to large solar system, and then the power virtually gets into your homes, or to the town or the Board of Education. In New England, across the Northeast, I'm sorry, I'm turning my back to you.
Is over here comfortable, maybe? Stand over here?
Yeah, sure, I can do that.
Dan, that way everyone can see you.
Yeah. My company and our investors have been active in mostly in the Northeast in Massachusetts. Massachusetts has been the trailblazer in this virtual net metering program. And it makes a lot of sense in New England, for example. A lot of us I'll speak for my home. I live in Connecticut. My house is from the 1940s. I have an older roof, even though it was changed over the years. Structurally, it's not going to really carry, for example, the solar panels. Plus, I have a lot of trees that are overhanging that I don't want to cut, and it's not looking the right way. It has to look south.
So all of those things are not coming together for me, even if I wanted to make the investment, and I can't really convince my husband to make the investment. So between all of those complications, we don't have solar panels in our house. However, virtual net metering helps us a lot, especially if we can buy the power virtually from somewhere else without really putting the panels on our house, on our homes, on our schools necessarily, making use of vacant, unused land, and getting the benefit of solar power to ourselves. As I said, a lot of New York, Massachusetts, and New Jersey is about to start this. Virtual net metering is everywhere. And they have a sub-program called community solar where we can actually give this to households. Connecticut has been a little bit behind in this whole process. There has been a virtual net metering program that's been very limited since 2015, and it's been only limited to municipal entities and state organizations in Hartford, and agricultural entities. What does that mean? That means if I have a piece of property where I'm willing to put a solar panels on, and I want to virtually sell the power to different off-takers, they can only be towns, Board of Education, a fire department, an entity that's affiliated with a municipality, essentially, a state organization, and a farm. But farm is, it could be a tree farm, it could be a dairy farm, it could be an actual farm. But those have been a little bit on the minority. The majority of the program has been subscribed by municipalities because the schools, especially the Board of Education, they are the biggest consumer of power everywhere. It's not only in Connecticut, everywhere it's the same thing. We've had a lot of municipal customers, Board of Education customers in Massachusetts over the years. Always the schools, especially high school, are one of the biggest consumers. The gist of the virtual net metering, I'll just show it to you in a slide, which will make it easier this way, right? Here we go. So let's just think about this, if you can, and I'll give you the real example. Why are we talking about East Hampton? Why are we here? We have a piece of property in East Hampton on an industrially zoned property. A private landlord has been looking to develop that property and really hasn't done anything with it over the last 20 years. We approached him through contacts, and he seemed to think that it was a good idea to actually put solar on the property. The way that we picked the property is also, it's closer to Eversource's distribution lines, because at the end of the day, we're a power plant that actually supplies power to Eversource's distribution. The power gets distributed through Eversource. So we picked that piece of property, and it's going to be actually 2 megawatts, but this is just an example off of a 1 megawatt project. And just to backtrack, my presentation at the beginning, it says August. I know there's lots of educators here. It's not a typo. I gave the same exact presentation in August to the town council, and I wanted to make sure that you guys are seeing the same exact presentation. So that's why it's not different. So we're going to have a 2 megawatt solar project, but let's go over the 1 megawatt. A 1 megawatt solar project in Connecticut, where we are right now, based on the installation and where we are on Earth, it produces about 1.6 million kilowatt hours of electricity every year on an annual basis. So we push through the Eversource power lines. You see the 3-phase lines on the streets that have like the T on them. We interconnect to that line, and we give our power for free to Eversource. So Eversource takes it as if it's taking it from a natural gas plant or a coal plant, what have you, or a hydroelectric plant. We give it to them, and under this virtual net metering program, which is limited, and I'll get to that, they're telling us, okay, this is great. We want to promote solar. What we're going to do, give us the list of town accounts that you're working with. In our case, hopefully it will be East Hampton and the East Hampton schools. We're going to credit their electricity bills off of the highest retail rate that we have. So right now that runs around about 14-15 cents. What they do, for every kilowatt hour our system pushes to them, they credit your bills 15 cents a kilowatt hour. It doesn't matter if you currently have a third-party power marketing company where you're buying your power maybe for 6 cents a kilowatt hour. It just doesn't matter. they will still give you a 15-cent or 14-cent kilowatt hour whenever we strike the services agreement with them. And in majority of the cases, it wipes out the electricity bills of the towns, of the schools. It's a very financially beneficial arrangement on top of promoting renewable energy. So the town will have a lot of savings. If we have 2 megawatts, it's going to be about 3.2 million kilowatt hours per year, as I said. It will be distributed to the town accounts and the Board of Education accounts, or we can only have 5 accounts per project, so it will be more or less 10 accounts, 10 of our largest accounts, let's just say. But of course, we put all the capital. We have to make some money off of this thing because we're getting our power for free. Someone else is getting the credits, right? The towns are getting the credits. What we do, we tell the towns and municipal entities that we work with, okay, they're going to give you, let's just say 14 cents. You guys pay us a discount off of that. The difference between what you pay us and what Eversource is crediting you is going to be your savings. Let's just go through an example. Let's just say Eversource is going to give 14 cents at the time of the services contract. We can sell the power to you at 11 cents. The difference of 3 cents a kilowatt hour, regardless of what the town and the Board of Education and the schools pay, maybe you have a great arrangement with a third-party contractor about supply, you will still get the 3-4 cents off of your bill. The beauty of it is you don't have to make any capital investments yourself. No money is coming out of your pocket. You're not putting anything on your roof, but it won't preclude you from putting solar panels on your roof. If over the years you decide, you know what, we're just going to open an RFP, we really want someone to come and put solar panels on the middle school, on the high school, you can still do that. Wilton, the town of Wilton in Fairfield is one of our customers. They have a lot of solar panels on their schools, on the roofs, but the roofs are limited. Unfortunately, the roofs are not big enough to actually offset all of the power consumption, so they're also a party to one of our virtual net metering contracts. Town of Weston is one of our customers. They also have, I think, some solar panels, if not everywhere. This building looks like a brand new and very modern building, but a lot of the schools don't have a new roof. It doesn't really actually take a good solar system on top of it. So this is our proposition. Why us? Why are we, you could be working with others. Why would you work with Citrine Power? It's a fair question that comes up all the time. Why are we working with the town of East Hampton? We want to give the right of first refusal, let's just say, to the towns that we're going to be operating in, because we're going to put this project together. It's a 2 megawatt project in East Hampton. It's in your town. So it's much better if the town and the Board of Education benefits from it. It's a great story. But if you decide that, nah, we don't like it, we don't want it, we just want to figure out our own other options, that's also fine. We have other towns that we're working with, other Board of Education that we're working with. And this is not a very overnight decision. We also understand that it's an iterative process, so we're happy to answer any and all questions all the time. So there's 169 towns in Connecticut, I believe, municipalities. Only 17 of them have virtual net metering right now, and that's not because these municipalities and the towns don't want to benefit from a 3-4 cent discount on their bills. It's because the program is very limited. The program was first started in 2015, immediately got oversubscribed. Then it got expanded a little bit, I believe, in 2017, and last year we were able to expand it, the industry, fighting tooth and nail with the legislation and the regulators for a little bit more. And we were able to put the East Hampton town applications, 2 of them, into the queue. And the queue is full right now. If another town has just heard that the queue has been open and they want to come into the process, they're going to be on a wait list. One of our projects, our Wilton project, was on a wait list last year, so they're going to get allocated right now. That's not to say that Connecticut is not making strides in renewable energy. We will, slowly but surely, hopefully. The governor just signed 100%, so we're very happy about that. There's all talks about Green New Deal. It's a process. There's the utilities on the one side, the distribution companies, there's the industry on the other side, and then there's the rule makers. So a lot of people need to be happy. We want it to be going faster, of course, but it is what it is. And there's new programs that are going to come up that we're all working with the legislation. So there's hope. It's not, Connecticut is behind in New England and across the Atlantic, for sure, behind Massachusetts, behind New York, and behind New Jersey, but we're gonna get there, I hope. So, this is, I can go over, let me see what else we can go over. Oh, the benefits are savings, no out-of-pockets for the town, no town property, like your municipal property is tied up. There's no construction risk. Your current power supply agreements are going to be staying in place. Flexibility, you can go in and out of these contracts fairly easily. Again, I didn't answer the question about why us. There aren't that many of these projects. There aren't that many of these developers. There's lots of developers like us. We're not the only ones. This is not rocket science. But there aren't that many projects that are lined up to go, especially in East Hampton, because the programs are super small. If it was very prevalent like the one in Massachusetts, yeah, we would have pleaded with you and you could have said, yeah, we like her and this is a better deal for us financially, but let's just hear 3 other people. Here in Connecticut, unfortunately right now, the options are limited because the programs are so small. So that's why we're making our case.
Could you just explain,
Yeah.
you mentioned that there were 5 projects, 5 sites that would be able to...
I have that on my list. You said 10 contracts.
Oh,
5
10
accounts.
accounts, yes,
5
exactly.
accounts per project.
Yes.
So has the town determined which, because there's 4 schools. Has the town determined which accounts?
Yes, yes and no. We actually...
Does the school count as one? That would be
No.
the first question.
The school would not count as one.
Well,
A school would, to do all our schools, that's 4 different accounts.
And even more. So the town has multiples and maybe like 20 different accounts for like each traffic light, for each little, lots of accounts, and that's typical of every account. You have the school account, and I think some accounts, one school might have 2 accounts. We went through all of it. You have more than, between the town and the schools, you have more than enough consumption to take the 3 million. I think last we counted with Jeff Joka, we worked with him to actually look over the annual consumption. It was about 5.5 million kilowatt hours, and we're looking at 3.2 here. And we counted the schools in there because the schools are the biggest consumers.
Yeah.
I do have, actually I can look at my computer quickly and tell you which ones we flagged. Because we did flag the accounts. But that's like the last step, and the accounts, that's the good news. We can change the accounts every year. So let's just say you put, I'm making it up, you decide to go through with this, you had high school and middle school, and that was enough to take one of the projects, let's just say. And then middle school went through some renovation, or it got downsized out for a bit, and you don't have enough consumption, you can switch it over to something else, to another account.
Is there ever a chance that what you charge the school would be more than what Eversource would charge?
Well,
Well, that's a good question. That's a good question. No, because there's 2 types of, I guess, we're offering 2 types of pricing. One, it depends on your appetite and where you think, and none of us have a crystal ball, where you think Eversource's prices are going. One is a fixed price. We can just say, okay, currently we're starting at 14 cents. We all know it's going to increase because historically it's always increased by 2% every year at the very least, the last 20 years, Eversource's prices. So if we do a fixed 11 cents, that will carry us for the next whatever years that we're going to strike a deal with. That's one option, fixed. There is a chance, is Eversource ever going to go down below 11 cents? I personally don't think so, but the decision's up to you. The other option is we could do a floating rate contract, which is we're going to give you a discount, which is about 20-25% discount to the 14 cents. So Eversource changes that rate, you're always going to be below that 20-25%, right? Like you're never going to, there's no chance you're going to be above that. But in the former years, it's going to be a lot more than 11 cents because in the former years, because we know in the next 3-4 years, they're going to increase the prices. The first 5 years, you might just be paying more, but then you're at least hedging yourself that you're never going to be more than what they're going to give you.
Now, when you presented this to the town council, are they on board? What is the town's intention at this point?
My impression is that they are on board, speaking with Jeff and reading through the town council. But you should probably talk to them. I don't want to speak for them.
So.
Yeah, I'm not sure, I mean, I'm sure we have a few questions, but just picking off that, the 4 school buildings are town buildings. They're town-owned, they're not Board of Ed owned buildings.
That's fine.
So I'm just wondering where they're going with this and what our role should be in it.
I think they want you to decide, my impression, and I don't want to put, words in their mouth, but the town will take a bunch because they can take, we have 10 accounts to work with, let's just call it that way. We have 2 1 megawatt projects. And they want to take some, and they have enough, especially with the new building that they built, that there's a lot of consumption there. But they would love for you to benefit from this too. So I think they wanted this to be your decision. And Karen can talk more. I think she spoke with Jeff.
Yeah, I think they're looking at, they rank the biggest users, and it's the high school, it's also the sewer plant.
I was going to say, are they including WPCA
Yes.
even though they're
Right.
separate? Because they generate huge amounts of.
So I have 15 North Maple is here,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Then I have 20 Gildersleeve Road.
that's the WPCA, that's the water
Okay,
treatment.
that's like, I'm going by
Water
order, and I can
treatment
send you the spreadsheet. This is,
That would be
like, we just rank annual consumption.
It's the one that I sent it to them.
Oh, yeah,
It
yeah.
has tabs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that we have a new town hall, which we kind of estimated.
Yeah,
20 Smith Street,
Yeah.
that's Memorial School,
and
I figured
then
they-
19 Child Street.
middle school.
I think there's Route 16. These are, I think, traffic lights. Route
Yeah.
16.
So 3 of the 4 schools
It's something with
listed
the
there.
town
then?
has.
Yeah, I have I have more. Bevan Boulevard, East Hampton, 105 Main Street, 20 East High.
That's.
These are all
that's
high
central.
consumption.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
so something's there, yeah, okay.
But the top 3 are High School, Gildersleeve Road, New Town Hall, and then Smith Street and 19 Childs.
Yeah, okay.
Top 5, I
So,
guess.
Yeah.
can I just ask Karen a question? When we buy electric, do we do the same thing as the town? Like, do we get the same, our electric from the same resource as the town get it? Do we do a combined purchase?
Because we're on the Connecticut Conference Municipalities program.
Okay,
The supplier.
So the
So
schools
the
rates
sup-
are bundled in with the town?
with the town,
And
well, the
just separate.
suppliers.
Everybody's bills are individual,
Yes.
but we're on the same deal.
But we're all under the same
Yeah.
deal, okay, that was my
You know,
first
I
question.
can even tell you, maybe the tabs that I sent you probably has an average of how much you pay right now too. I just closed it, and it's gonna take some time, but you're not paying anywhere nowhere where they're going to, give you the retail rate. Like of course, you have a much better deal. You're paying 8 cents, 6 cents, 10 cents in certain cases. Depends on how small each account is. Smaller the account, the higher you pay because there's not enough consumption. But that has nothing to do with what you're paying.
So, okay, so using that, what we're paying now in your formula, we would still be below.
Yeah,
What
what
is-
you're paying will always be, you're always going to get your power from Eversource or your third-party market supplier. And that, you're free to negotiate whatever you want. If one day somebody comes and says, I built a nuclear plant, and Eversource did, and you're now getting 3 cents a kilowatt hour, that'll be great. That's fine. You're still going to get a 15-cent kilowatt hour credit on your bill. You'll be negative 12 at that point.
Okay, so for the transmission and distribution charge right now, and I'm just going by your sheet, is 0.06, is 6 cents. So, and then the generation charge is our supplier, which is currently Eversource, which is 9%. So we're paying like 16 cents.
Sorry, let me see this.
We're paying a
yeah.
combined 16 cents.
Okay.
So
Is that what you're paying? It can't be what you're paying.
That's what you're-
That's the
what you're-
retail rate. That's the calculation of the
Retail, that's not
retail
what
rate
we're
that they're
paying.
going to credit you at.
right, so that's what you're saying, that this
Mhm.
is, if this is what we're paying. So you're assuming, so we have to pay you, instead of paying the 9 cents generation charge, we pay you 11 cents, and we still have to pay the transmission and distribution charge to Eversource.
You pay Eversource whatever you're paying to Eversource,
Right,
regardless.
so, but I mean, from what you're saying, telling us here.
Yeah, Eversource will drop it off of your bill. Everything.
We get an 80% discount the first year, 60% the second year.
That's the
40
formula, yeah.
Right, and then by the fourth year, we're back to paying the normal charge, the regular charge. Which is why when we look over here, we get a $61,000 savings, 42, 22, and then it drops
Yeah.
off to like 25.
And then it goes back up, yeah.
And then it goes back up.
Yeah.
So you're assuming here, which is why your program is good, because you're saying that assuming
1.5% increase.
1.5% increase from Eversource at least every year,
Yes.
we come out on top of that. But
Yeah.
it's a big assumption.
Well, you can zero
So-
these out, and with our numbers, actually on the spreadsheet, if you zero them out, I have this example to Jeff as well. No increase. Let's just say it will always stay at that. You're still coming out on top with savings because
Okay.
we're always going to give you a discount off of what this total is. The first year is.
Okay.
So no investment, and then contract term, is there,
Yes.
locked in,
Yeah,
can they
that's
get out
my
in
question.
3
Yeah.
years if it's not working? How is
Yeah.
all that?
The contract term is 20 years.
Okay.
And it sounds scary. 20 to 25 years. And it sounds
services agreement?
Hold on.
The services agreement goes for 20 years, so there's 2 agreements. One, Eversource gives you this 15 cents and says, okay, you're locked in as soon as they distribute under the new program, saying that, okay, Town of East Hampton, your 2 projects are in, 15 cents is what your grandfathered in, all right? So that's the services agreement. Then we sign a contract with us, with Citrine Power, for a 20-year contract on the 11 cents or the 25 discount, or however you guys want to do it and what we decide to do, come to an agreement. That's also a 20 to 25-year contract, but it's not end-all be-all. You can get out of it. You can get out of it for a variety of good reasons, and we can send you a contract because we contract with municipalities all the time. We know what the pressure points are. We'll show it to your legal counsel, and you can talk to other towns that would sign these with. They're all, public entities. If someone else comes and says, "Oh, I'm giving you more of a discount," right? Along the way, maybe the programs will change. There are ways to get out of it.
So is it between town and school? It's all fixed or all adjustable rate?
Whatever you guys decide.
No, but I mean, the town and the school have to do the same thing?
It will be easier for our financing, but it's not the end of the world if you want to change something. If you want to do variable, they want to do fixed or vice versa. It's not the end of the world. It would be nice if we kind of go, with the same thing for underwriting purposes, but you have a good AAA bond rating right now, so it would be, congratulations. So it'll be okay.
Speaking, since you pointed to Bridget, have you guys on the Board of Finance gone through any of this discussion?
No,
Yeah.
that's one of the main reasons I'm here tonight is
Okay.
I wanted to do this because we were not in the town council meeting.
Gotcha.
We'll give you a packet to take.
Okay.
And I can send it, and I'm happy to present to the Board of Finance. So we go through this all the time. Yeah, it's not intuitive, so I get it.
Okay. Questions?
And one
on the
other
board?
thing,
Mark?
this is,
We know Mark has questions, so.
Yes, please, go ahead.
So I'm gonna try to start with probably the simple ones. You answered the 20 years, which is one of the questions. So the 2 megawatts, is that over the course of a year? I mean,
What's the process of development?
well, no, like it's generating 2 megawatts of energy.
Mm-hmm.
Is that measured over a month, 6
A
months,
year.
a year?
A year.
So it's a year.
Mhm.
Right.
So 3.2 million kilowatt hours is what a 2 megawatt project will, 2 megawatt is the nameplate capacity, 3.2 million kilowatt hours, and kilowatt hours is the actual electricity production. That's annual. So it's, of course, not divided by 12, but I can give you production if you want to on a monthly basis.
Yeah, that's just I'm trying to understand the idea.
So can I just jump in once? So
Yeah, go ahead.
those 5 accounts use how much?
10 accounts should add up to about 3.2 million kilowatt hours. The 5 accounts, here, let's take a look.
Yeah, one of
I
those top
turned it
5
off.
views, and Karen, you heard that? or-
Because if its system generates 3.2 million kilowatts, are we going to use above and beyond that, or?
You are currently using across all of your accounts about 5.5 million kilowatt hours. And Jeff is telling me it's actually more than that because he didn't give me all the accounts he said.
5.5 million.
So say
okay.
6 million we're using now, and we're looking to cut that almost in half.
Yeah, well, we don't, the town hall is probably gonna, just like this school, use more, it's gonna use more
Well, it's
than
certainly gonna
the current
use more than
police and
current
town hall,
hall.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be more.
Yeah, so your top 9 accounts between the town and the
Yeah.
school is about 5 million kilowatt hours.
5 million?
Right now.
Okay.
Right now, as of what Jeff gave me, and
Right.
may not be updated, yeah.
Probably that is gonna go up once the new town hall is.
It's included in here. The town hall is also included in here.
The new town hall?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because there's an estimate, when you guys were
That's
going
the
through
projection.
permitting,
Oh,
there was a
okay.
projection, so we put that in.
Well, they,
Okay, Mark, go ahead,
Go ahead.
continue.
Okay, so based on what I understand, you've got this commercial property owner, and you have Eversource, and you have the town, and you have your company.
Yeah.
Where does the legislation part come in? That's the part I don't understand. So why would there have to be legislation that would require, why would there be required legislation to say, okay, we have these different independent entities deciding to contract with each other? How is, whether it's Massachusetts, Connecticut, or any other
Right.
state, how is the legislature controlling that, I guess is the question.
Right. So Eversource, the distribution companies, will not play ball, and they're the ones who are going to give us the 15 cents a
Right.
kilowatt hour if there's no legislation.
There's no.
what kind of legislation? I mean,
Virtual,
he's asking,
the
like,
virtual,
why do they
virtual
have-
net metering.
The
They will not do virtual net metering. They will not realize, they will not take our power. They will take our power
Because
happily.
they'll lose money.
And they'll take our power and they'll be like, okay, do what you need to do with your power. How am I going to make
So
money?
what does the legislation do for the?
What?
The legislation.
Why is the government getting
you've got
involved?
three-
Forcing the
you
power
have,
companies to
let's
be
say,
virtual.
3 entities.
Yeah.
Your company, Eversource, Town of East Hampton.
Mm-hmm.
And this,
Right.
I think there's a 4th one, but.
The landlord, yes.
Right, so how is it that there needs to be legislation to drive this transaction amongst 3 different parties?
Can you come to Hartford with us? Please.
Yeah.
Let's just ask this question over and over.
Why
Yes,
is
so
it
the
regulated?
distribution companies, right?
Eversource.
Eversource. That's how we all get powered. I mean,
Correct.
they are the ones who are providing our power. I am their
But
supplier.
Eversource is an independent company, they're not run by the state.
Exactly,
Okay, why
but they
would
will not do this
I-
unless the legislation in the state says you will do this. You need to get a portion of your supply from renewable energy and figure out a way to make it happen. They will not do it.
Okay, so it's not economically, it may not be economically feasible for them
Is what they say.
without the legislation saying they have to go do that.
They make less than profit.
Now, does
Yeah,
this,
they're
That's
gonna
what
be less
they're-
profit
it's-
until they're
it's-
told they
it's-
have
It's
to.
not in their
Not
self-interest.
making it feasible, they make less.
So the
So-
utilities are not
Renewable
incented to go through this route all that much, right?
does Eversource get compensated by the state?
They're getting free power from us.
They get compensated by us.
Well, but then, I guess I'm missing the point. So if it works for them, then why wouldn't they do it without the legislation? Maybe I'm
But
missing something.
they're saying this 15 cents a kilowatt hour they're passing, they can only do it in limited amounts, right? I told you the virtual net metering program is very small, and what Eversource is saying is that if I do it on a bigger scale, it will not be profitable for me. I'll lose money, or I'll have to increase your prices in general.
Well, couldn't they just say, well, we're not going to pass 15 cents to you?
They will, eventually this is going to come down. That's what they're working towards, and that's what happened in every state. At the end, they will say, okay, now it's, in Massachusetts it was a lot, then it became less and less and less and less.
But there's other suppliers of energy too. I mean, at your.
But they're not taking their power from solar, right? Like they are, but a lot of what you're getting is natural gas.
Right.
Okay,
But
let's-
just
let's
like my
keep going.
home, I
Alright.
can get a.
Any
I can
other
get
questions?
a
So I'm
supplier
gonna,
from
yeah, I
any
got
number
one other.
of companies.
So how does then the property owner, what does the property owner get for this?
Lease. We pay them an annual lease.
Okay.
So we enter
your
into a.
share the money that you're getting through the program gets paid to the property.
Yeah, so that's our cost, right? That's our cost of doing business for us. We lease the property from him 20 to 25 years. We pay him an annual lease.
Yeah, and you can't get, the project doesn't work for the property owner by himself because the legislation says that it has to be a municipality, a government agency,
Yeah.
or a farm.
Exactly.
Or
And any landlord can actually build a solar power plant if you put all of the pieces together. Again, this is not rocket science. We do this as a business, but you can figure this out. It's just a big capital commitment, right? The 2 megawatt project is going to be about $5.5 million investment for us. So.
And there's no zoning issues
Well,
in the town?
sorry,
to do-
well,
that's a
to do
town
a
thing.
solar-
That's gonna be my last
I'm just
question.
curious.
Yes.
Isn't this mostly a town decision?
Yes, but I think from them, and we haven't heard from the council, but I think they want our input.
Okay.
So I think that's why we're discussing if we like the idea, we could go to the town and say yes or no.
There's two pieces to it, right? We're discussing right now together with the town and you, the revenue for me and the cost reduction for you, the savings for you, how we're going to sell our power. The other portion that you're rightly asking, how is this permitted? Like who's permitting this thing, right? If we were 1 megawatt, we would have gone through the town, planning board, zoning, wetlands, everything. Like we're building a commercial plant. 2 megawatt project has to go to the Connecticut Siting Council. It's a state-based permitting. We prefer that, the towns prefer that, because there's no stone unturned. No stone unturned from an environmental perspective, historical perspective, everything. We just did this. If you actually pass by Route 66, the Dunkin' Donuts, across from Agway, I think? Middletown. Right behind you'll see big signs, CP Middletown 1 and 2, that's Citrine Power Middletown 1 and 2. We just started construction on 2 megawatt project that just went through this whole rigmarole.
How many acres does
that is a 10-acre
10
project,
10 acres?
10-acre project, yeah.
Okay, let me keep moving here. Nancy, anyone else questions over here? No?
No, my question was just answered.
Okay.
How many acres?
10 acres.
Yeah.
10 acres is 2 megawatts.
All right, let me, real quick, since we got a few audience, any quick questions you want to throw out since we're here?
Can you disclose the location on 7th Street?
Yeah, it's on Skinner Street.
But I was just curious as to the address, the number.
It doesn't have a number. It is behind 45 Skinner Street, I want to say.
Okay.
It's the lot behind 45 Skinner Street.
Is that the lot that they
It's
just
set back.
paved?
It's wooded right now.
Yeah.
But it's industrially zoned.
10 acres, right?
This property is about 27 acres. We're only using 10 of it because if you see the top left corner, we got a hit for natural habitat. So there might be animals that we cannot touch, and the siting council will not let us touch it. So we already kind of carved that out. And I think there's a pathway that people go for a walk right behind the property, so we don't want to encroach that area at all. Yeah.
And just, I don't know if you can answer this question or not, but I know you had mentioned that the WPCA was like the number 2 usage.
I think so, yeah.
Don't we share those services with other municipalities, and would that then just the savings would come to us? Would it come to the other towns? How would that work?
I don't think that account specifically that I was given is somebody else's, but I'm happy to check. It should be your account for you to decide.
Okay, let's
We
keep it to the board.
We take stuff from Marlboro, but they pay us to take their stuff, so, but it would be our savings, because we run a plant.
Yeah.
so.
All right, any other school-related questions?
What has been, Karen, what has been our history of, like, percent increases from Eversource over the last bunch of years? Like how much has it gone up more than 1.5% of a year or less than 1.5% of a year? Because knowing the history, if this is based on an assumption that Eversource's prices are going to go up 1.5, every year, we don't know the advances that they may make down the road for generating electric that may decrease their costs.
It's also hard to figure because this building came online
Yeah,
and is a very,
exactly.
using electricity very different than.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, not what the,
Or you just look at the annual.
What our
what our
increase-
annual like increases have been
Do you have
in the
a rough idea
in the
of that?
generation. I mean, you can
I
look that up,
look at that for you.
or maybe Jeff knows it.
It's our usage that has gone up much.
Yeah, but this is not usable, this is the
All
cost.
of
Okay.
those, our usage has gone faster than
Yeah,
So do
but
you
has
have
our cost gone up?
okay, we'll get that. Do you have a time frame of when
The
you need a
rate.
response from the
The
town?
increase of rate.
Yes, so we put in these two applications to be in the queue to get a virtual net metering allocation. And the legislation is going to be final. It's already passed, but PURA, which is the regulating body, they're meeting on the 24th of this month to finalize, because every time we increase a program, it's a rate case for Eversource, so it has to go through them. Long story short, by the end of the month, they're going to probably start the allocations. Eversource is going to start sending. So I think by the end of this month, we probably would like to know where the BOE and the town stands.
Do we know if Jeff has run different, financial models of like certain increases?
Yeah, he
Like
has.
what if Eversource only goes up 0.5% for the next 10 years? How does that affect this deal, or?
Well, the main consideration is whether we would choose the variable or fixed version of this. With the variable providing some protection if it doesn't go up as much as it may, but then that does limit if it goes up even faster. So, right now, we're sort of agreeing that the variable might be the least risky approach to it, but it's still have a few weeks to consider.
Okay.
Yeah, we gave examples of towns and references that do both, so you can ask them what they think, other towns and other Board of Education, because
All right,
Is there any, so we can terminate this if we're 5 years into it and say, hey, this is costing us more than what we normally
you can
would?
terminate
There's
under certain
There's no buyout penalty or anything?
There are. It depends on, if it's costing you more, it shouldn't cost you more, right? If it's
Right.
costing you
Well,
more,
yeah,
there's a
that's the whole
case,
idea,
right?
Then there's a problem.
But if it's not costing you more, just because you woke up one morning and you said, no, I don't want this anymore, there will be a buyout penalty, of course.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously, if it does turn out 10 years down the road to be costing us more than what we.
But I mean, even
Go
before we
straight.
terminate, what will happen and what has happened in the past in very rare circumstances in other states, actually not here, we always negotiate. If something has changed, we renegotiate it, right? It doesn't really behoove anybody to kind of say, walk away from it.
What
So
if, one other question, sorry. What
Is it
if-
school related?
Yeah, it's the company. What if this company, Citrine Power, or something happens to the company and you no longer exist? What happens then, if we have a contract with you?
Can't really tell you that. I mean, I hope we will be existing.
Yeah, well, I hope so too, but,
Yeah.
We haven't
companies.
Yeah.
So it would just.
Yeah, you won't have contracts. Whoever, God forbid, whoever's taking us over, they're gonna take over our assets, right? If the asset is still flowing, they'll sell the contract.
You had a quick one?
I just want to clarify the understanding of the legislation. So there's legislation that is requiring Eversource to do a certain amount of this each year. Okay. And the states, to your knowledge, the state's not reimbursing Eversource for this?
The state is requiring them to get a portion of their supply from renewable energy in variety of forms.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is kind of the avenue
One of them.
Eversource
Yeah.
is
doing
putting
it.
out there to say,
Yeah.
okay, this is one of the ways we're going to.
Exactly.
All right, so the town council meets on the 10th and the 24th, so tomorrow and then in 2 weeks.
Karen and I will do some research. We'll give you an update at the September 23rd meeting.
Okay, so maybe the 23rd then, we as a board should decide our intention, and then I can go to the council on the 24th and share that. Does that sound like a plan, time-wise?
Sounds
it's
like a
gonna-
great plan. To me, it works, but it has to work for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm happy to present to the Board of Finance.
Give me like your business card.
Yeah, exactly. And everything's in there. We're always available on the phone. I'm only an hour away, and we can always come as well to answer more questions.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kristen.
Who did? Okay,
There
we'll
was a
do a
question.
quick follow-up. You
There's a
want to do
question.
that? Oh, perfect, thank you.
Mr. Moody.
Go ahead, Tanya. Yep.
I'm so sorry, I just have one small
Was that
question.
Tanya?
I have presentation.
Yes.
Have there been any health studies, I'm just thinking EMS, any health-related studies with the installation of this type of system throughout the community? I'm pretty new at this and just wanted to understand because it seems as though it's only been in effect for a few years, and I know anytime you talk wireless, or I'm just thinking of EMS in terms of,
Yeah. Thank you for bringing that up. It comes in a lot of planning board meetings and permitting meetings. Solar panels have been around for a very long time, and the technology has actually not been very advanced over the last 40 years. It's been used in space and by NASA actually, and it's been used in the White House maybe like 30, 40 years ago. There are no known health hazards at all. And as I said, the Siting Council in Connecticut is one of the most rigorous permitting processes that we go through. There are a bunch of studies that actually shows that was done by the University of North Carolina that we typically use, kind of urban myths and how they're not really, there's no health effects essentially. The panels, a lot of people think, oh, what if I throw a rock to the panel? It's made out of silicone, what if it just goes into the ground, something breaks? They don't really actually shatter. They break, but they stay in place. The glass stays in place, so nothing is going to ooze out of it. But I'm happy to circulate to maybe Karen. I have her information about the health-related, Q&A that we typically use. Does that make sense?
Okay. Thank you again.
Great, and thank you, Marty, for your impassioned discussion at the beginning. Just for our live stream audience and anybody watching this, I just want to make it clear that no board members here had any decision on the building committee or any seat on the building committee. So, you've got a friendly audience here. So just to clarify, the Board of Education is not the building committee for this particular project.
And there are a lot of people in town who have solar panels. I have solar, I have geothermal, I have a Prius. My electric bill is $9 a month.
Okay, we need to move on there.
The electric companies do not want solar. They do not want wind power.
Okay, offline.
Okay. Thank you, we will.
Because they'll do everything, like in Colorado, to frustrate people from getting it. Because if everybody gets to renewable electricity, there won't be need for power lines. It's a big thing.
Okay, so board members, if you could, by the 23rd, then come with any final questions, get things answered, then we'll go from there. Okay? All right. All right, moving on.
In your
Committee.
places is, sorry, I was down at.
Now you're jumping, usually it's me. This is where normally we would do the student update from you guys, so.
So do it again.
I wouldn't make you do that, no. Personnel, real quick. Personnel, our subcommittee for the administrative contract negotiations met last Tuesday with the help of Bridget from the Board of Finance as the, what would be the, is it observer per statute. Anyway, so we met and we have tentative agreements. So time frame, the plan is September 23rd. Administrators will hopefully ratify the contract prior to our meeting. We will vote on it. Assuming it goes, we send it to the town on the 24th of this month, and they then have 30 days to take action or not on it, and we'll be all set. So, to the administrators, Jason, Mr. Lehman did a great job on your behalf. last week, and thank you to him and to all you. I think this ongoing relationship that we have with not only you, but all the different staff, the teachers, the paras, the nurses, all the way down. It's these contract negotiations, for lack of better words, and I hate to say enjoyable, but pleasant to do. And I appreciate that. Yeah, I didn't want to say enjoyable. No. Policy curriculum, anything?
We have not met.
Okay. Finance, transportation, building grounds?
We have not met, but maybe we would want to have a committee meeting to discuss this thing on a smaller group scale. Yeah.
Good idea. Prior to the 23rd?
Prior to the 23rd.
Okay. Learn, any updates?
No, have a meeting Thursday.
And building committee, they haven't finalized anything yet? Turn things over?
Nope, but you will be recognizing them as one of the Friends of Education on the 23rd.
Yep. Now I'll turn it over to you.
What, can I just ask one quick question on the building? Because I didn't get a chance to read the email you sent us about the PFSAs, the
PFAS.
PFAS, yeah. What was the gist of that? I didn't get to totally
It's actually the town is
analyze
doing
the-
some research on that.
Was one of our schools high?
It was not one of the schools, it was one of the water supplies in town.
Oh, okay. Oh, right, one of the wells
Right.
by Memorial.
Yeah.
Okay, but that supplies water to Memorial.
Yes,
Or just Royal Oaks.
but rather than speak without facts, if you want to discuss that.
Okay, I'll read it
Yeah.
over better. Again, I just glanced at it. Okay,
Yeah.
never mind. Okay.
Okay. Calendar.
Calendar. There's a calendar in your place. Just note that September 18th has been crossed out. And just a reminder that the October 15 State of the School meeting is your October board meeting, since Monday is Columbus Day. Something that I'm going to ask the board to do is consider what you would like to happen to 94 Main Street as the town hall is completed. We're not going to do a large presentation tonight, but there is good reason for us to keep that as part of the town inventory. Rod has some ideas that would result in savings to us through special ed programming. Rod, give him the 30-second elevator.
Yeah.
We're working with Sue Freeman, who's one of our physical therapists, and she also works with Birth to 3. So we're working on going to be submitting an RFP to have our own Birth to 3 program in district that would support our kids as well as some surrounding districts, is what we're proposing in the RFP. And it's awarded, we would need office space for 3 full-time staff, as well as several consulting staff, and also space for a resource program, parent center, where parents can come in to a weekly play group with their children and learn about different strategies and supports for their kids.
Most of that would happen on the first floor, maybe a little overflow onto the second floor. We also would use the remaining part of the second floor for 2 people in the central office. We're not moving to the town hall.
So you would want the board to kind of have a statement to the council moving forward on what we recommend for use of that building?
Ideally, rather than us having to find space to rent for
Yeah.
Birth to 3, this seems like a great use of keeping that building intact as Main Street continues to come alive, rather than have it
Would there be the
vacant.
need for
It's a
more-
historic building. I'm
Yeah.
sure no one wants to see it just
Old school.
fall.
Town
Would there
hall.
be a lot of need for renovation, or?
I probably would need no renovation.
No renovation.
Right. If there was a situation where a parent could not get into the building, we could easily meet the parent at one of the other schools.
Okay.
Looking forward to
All
hearing
right,
more
so think of
more
that.
about it, yeah.
Yep.
We'll do a more formal presentation as we have the details.
Okay.
But perhaps you and I should have conversations informally with the town council about keeping the building. And I already said this, but Tuesday, October 15th, you're going to have a 35-minute presentation from the administrative team on the state of the schools, followed by an opportunity for every member of the Board of Education, Town Council, and Board of Finance, and all candidates just to respond to what they hear. We're going to do it in the high school auditorium, and I know we have a couple candidates out there. You should have received your invitation in the mail. Yes, yes, and
Yes, 3 yeses.
yes, yes,
okay.
and no. Talk to Rosemarie right in front of you, and she'll make sure we have the correct address for you.
Good.
And then under enrollment, if you look at the enrollment sheet, you will notice an increase at the high school, an increase at the middle school, an increase at the center school. And because of the 2 smaller classes now, in K and 1, you see a decrease at Memorial School. So instead of the typical 140s that we have in grade 2 and grade 3, now you've got kindergarten 122 and first grade at 112. So those are 2 small
Big
classes.
4th grade.
What was, because I didn't have time to do this. What was the 8th grade class last year, Jason?
The size?
Yeah,
About 160.
160, so entering 9th grade, down to 24.
Last year's 8th grade was 141.
40.
Oh, 141.
140, so you have
You're
about
wrong.
6.
So 20 kids.
All right, I was just wondering how many we lost between 8th and 9th grade. I didn't get the look, okay.
There's about 16 students who chose to go to either Xavier, Mercy, Vinyl Tech, Middletown VOAG, or Hartford Magnets.
Okay. How's our total magnet school, you know, the ones we have to pay for, how is the numbers
I'm
there?
glad you mentioned that. The slide, it's part of the enrollment that I wanted to share with you. Karen just did this very quickly. We're going to give you some good details, especially as we flesh this out and put it together as part of our budget presentation. But and I know that the writing is small here, but each to the left begins with pre-KK, 1 to 3, 4 to 5, 6 to 8, 9 to 12, and the blue is this current year magnet tuition. So you can see over the last 5 years, the trend at all grade levels is a drop in students attending the magnet schools.
Yep.
So, you know, I have to applaud this particular Board of Education and the principals and the teachers being able to meet student needs right in district.
So what did we budget for outplacements versus what?
This is not outplacements.
No,
This
I
is,
don't mean outplacements.
yeah.
I mean magnets.
Tuitions.
Magnets. So we probably estimated so many kids.
Right, I haven't
we-
had a chance to look at
to really do it yet?
the schools that they're going to, whether they're, ones in charge
Yeah.
or Hartford.
Right, that's what I mean, like what are the paying magnets? What
Don't
are
know.
we? Okay.
It had been trending towards the paying ones more
Yeah.
so.
Those are the ones we care about.
We
Yeah.
haven't gone through, I haven't spent the time to go through
Okay.
one yet.
Good.
All right.
That's a
We
good
can-
trend
we
to
can-
see.
Yeah, that
Find
will
that
give
out.
you, we'll give you some details in that, but that's
Yep.
just a quick snapshot of blue being this year at the various grade levels. We're seeing a nice, and you know, certain families and students thrive at the magnet schools. This is nothing against the magnet school, but I would like to think people in East Hampton did not have to look outside of the East Hampton public schools for an education.
Nice. Okay. Thank you. Moving on to unfinished business. So we have approval of the 2019-20 Emergency Operation Manual, which I know that you guys spent the summer working on and updating.
Yes, and I did not resend that to you.
Because we got it last time.
But we will be submitting that to the state. As of October 1, we've got to get it to all of our officials to sign off. By November 1, that has to be submitted to the state.
Okay, so a motion to approve the 2019-2020 Emergency Operation Manual as recommended by the Superintendent of Schools.
So moved.
Can I have that?
Second.
That's right. Yes. Motion. Second, Mark. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye. Awesome job.
Good. New business. Final audience of citizens. Anyone? Comments? Questions? Again, great ideas. No great ideas. Okay. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Not a great idea.
Mark, second, Lauren. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you.
Night.